All right, lady. Are you one of my chicks who has this magical number that you just cannot freaking get past on the scale? Maybe you can lose 10 pounds and then you get stuck, or you can lose 20 pounds and then you get stuck. And there is more weight that you could lose, but like your body just will not seem to go past this point. Maybe it's a specific number on the scale that you are like, I know I could lose 20 or 30 more pounds than this number, but like something always gets in my way right at that freaking number. If that happens to you, girl, this episode is for you. So a lot of people attribute this to just like hitting a plateau or set point. And I want to talk about this in terms of like this set point theory today, because there are parts of the set point theory, if you've heard of that, that are true. And there are also parts that most people believe about the set point theory that are not true. And here's what I can tell you definitively after helping thousands of women at this point lose weight, many, many, many who had a set point issue, a plateau issue, a number that they couldn't break past. With the right strategy in place, you can absolutely break past that. You do not have to starve and be super strict to do it. You don't have to live in the gym to do it, but it does take a lot of strategy. But we got to get clear on like, okay, what even is this theory and what parts of this are true? What parts of this are false? What parts of this are unknown? Because there is a little bit of it that's still unknown in the science. But we get all of our clients past it. In fact, I just had another client who is 65 years old who told me that she could not get down below 155. She's a shorty like me, and she hasn't been able to get below 155 since she hit menopause. And she was an early menopauser. So this woman is like darn near 20 years post-menopause already. I know, right? Even though she's only 65. But anyway, she couldn't break past 155. This was very, very frustrating to her because she's like, I could easily lose 20 more pounds, but like my body won't do it. Not only did we get her body to do it, she's 8 pounds lower than her previous low. She's back in pants that she hasn't been able to wear in over a decade, which she's really happy about because she told me, she's like, "Oh, I like my old jeans so much better than the jeans that they sell these days. So I'm so happy to be able to pull these back out of my closet." But she legitimately thought that this was not possible for her. And I know a lot of you feel that way, right? When you work so freaking hard and then you don't change anything and the scale just stops moving, we can think, okay, my body is just stuck here. Or you get to your goal and then you always rebound weight gain back up another 20 pounds or so. That's another thing that people attribute to the set point theory. And so let's talk about what this theory is and then what's true, what's false, and what do you need to do with this? So the theory goes like this. Your body has a number that it is going to defend. So you can maybe get past it, but you have to be like really strict to get past it. And then you're always going to rebound weight gain up to that number, and or it's just going to be really hard to break past that number. And now here's the part of this theory that we do know to be true. It's not a set number necessarily, okay? Okay, actually, let me back up. So whenever you are losing weight, your body has defenses. Your body doesn't actually want you to lose weight because fat is energy, and our bodies evolved in this time of like food scarcity. And so fat kept you alive. Your body is like, I want to hoard all of the things. It doesn't know that you could push a button on your phone and John is going to deliver you a sub from Jimmy John's in freaky fast time. Your body doesn't know that, right? And so it does want to hang on to fat. And so it does have defenses. And so it has all these hormones that it can use through like your hypothalamus and then your leptin and your ghrelin and blah, 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 blah. And long story short, what ends up happening is your metabolic rate slows down, your cravings go up, your focus on food and your food obsession goes up. You become less satisfied with the meals that you have. You're hungry all the time. You actually end up spending less energy, not just because your metabolic rate slowed down, but you physically move less. Like your body has so many defenses that it throws at you. Now, this is not just happening when you get to a certain number on the scale at some set point. This process starts happening in your body the minute that you start losing weight. And so here is the big mistake that women make. They don't worry about any of this until they hit a plateau or they're approaching their set point. They're like, oh, okay, well, I know I always get stuck at 203 pounds. And so I'm going to figure it out when I lose the 50 pounds to get to 203. And it's like, no, because you have to handle all of the things that are happening in your body, all of those defenses have to be handled from day one in order for you to be able to break past that set point and do it without crashing your metabolism. Now, there's also some psychology that goes into this too, right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, getting below 200, huge set point issue for many, many, many women because it's so exciting. Like they want it so, so bad. I can't wait to break into Wonderland, is what my clients call it. I love all of you, but I literally hate that. Like y'all are putting way too much pressure on the number on the scale having a one in front of it, but I digress. Wonderland is a huge sticking point, and then anything in the tens or the fives, right? So this client that we're going to do a case study on today, 155, right? But a lot of times it's 180, it's 190, like whatever the number is, it usually ends in a 5 and a 0. What does that tell me? That is not your body, boo. That is your brain. Your body doesn't think in fives and tens, but your brain does. So if you're always getting stuck on a very even number, we might actually have some psychology things that we need to work on. And that can be just as tricky, by the way, as the actual metabolic strategy. So we need strategy for both if we have some mindset stuff going on around these numbers, or if our body legitimately is getting stuck around those numbers. Like it might be the case that you lose 20 pounds and you feel better. And so you just get a little bit laxed, right? And you're like, well, I feel better. I could lose another 10. And then you just like celebrate with like pizza and you backslide, and it's like, okay, we have a consistency thing, we've got some habit stuff that we have to work on. Girl, if that's what you keep doing to yourself, would you please get your butt in the Keep It Off Academy so I can fix that for you and you can stop gaining and losing the same weight over and over. But that's the mindset piece of it, right? But we do need to handle the metabolic pieces of this, and this is where metabolism is like this giant puzzle. Okay, so when you're working with us inside the Keep It Off Academy, we talk about the core four. This is your food, your movement, your sleep, your stress management. All of these things tie in to how your body defends this little magical set point, so to speak. And how you lose weight is way more important than people give it credit for. So I know there are some people who want to be really positive polys about this. And they're like, listen, however you lose weight that works for you, that's great. I support that. Whatever makes people healthier. I'm calling BS on that. I 1000% disagree. Sorry if it makes me a stick in the mud, but how you lose weight matters, because if you're not handling this along the way, you're not going to keep the result. And every single time that you do this, it's getting harder and harder, not easier and easier. And so this is why women come to me and they're like, Nikki, you don't understand. I've been gaining and losing the same 30 pounds my whole freaking life, except for now it's way harder. Like I can barely get my scale to move, or I have to be so perfect and so strict. And they think it's their age and they think that it's menopause. And it's really all of these defenses that our body has when we're losing weight that have not been handled. And now things are just gone rogue. That does not mean that you can't fix this. You absolutely can. Now, is your body going to try to throw up defenses even when we lose weight the right way? Yes, but we know how to handle that. And when you know how to handle that, it's not that those defenses go away. It's not that it will ever be super easy to lose weight and maintain it. It's that it becomes possible and you change what your set point is. So if you normally get stuck at 180, okay, we're going to get you past 180. We're going to get you down to 170. We're going to get you down to 160, wherever it is that you're trying to go. But we have to do this in these bite-sized increments, changing up your strategy every, sometimes 5 or 10 pounds. Sometimes not. Sometimes people's body just doesn't have as many defenses. Like their metabolism is just like, fine, It's all habit and mindset work, and we barely even have to deal with this. But for most people, this is going on behind the scenes, whether you recognize it or not. And it's why maintaining weight loss is insanely more difficult than losing weight. Look at the statistics. Most people can lose weight. Very few people actually keep it off. It's not because the set point is set in stone. It's that you don't know how to address the metabolic adaptation and the defenses that are happening all along the way when you're losing. So I want to tell you right now, the number one mistake that women make, all humans actually, when they're trying to lose weight, you are not going to love this, okay? But it is being impatient. And I'm preaching to the choir because I'm like the most impatient person that I know. If I make a decision that I want something, first of all, I want what I want and I want it now. And I want it like yesterday. And grass does not grow under my feet. I'm a mover and a shaker, and I'm a go big or go home kind of gal. And so if I put my mind to something, I'm doing it all the freaking way, or I'm just like not doing it at all. And guess what? Strategically, that does not work for weight loss. Not if you want to keep it off. We always have to be extremely clear when we're talking about losing weight that we're talking about doing it in a way where you can keep it off. But we are highly driven to reduce the pain and the suffering that we're experiencing. So when we start on our weight loss journey for the 12th freaking time, because we've all done it, how many times? I mean, come on, let's be so for real. Most of us were like dieting before we really even needed to be dieting, just because like our moms were doing like the grapefruit diet. And we were like, okay, I'm going to live on grapefruit or cabbage soup, or we've all had lots of practice, right? But when we get older, the reason that we start losing weight is typically not because we're like, I want to be my healthiest self. I love that if that's your reason. I really do. I respect the hell out of it, girl. But for most of us, myself included, it wasn't that. Sure, I thought that, but what it really was I felt disgusted when I looked in the mirror, if I'm being honest. I'm like, I don't recognize that person. That is not who I am. I'm cute. That chick that I'm looking at in the mirror, that ain't it. What happened to me? Oh my gosh. I have to hurry up and fix this. And isn't it so funny because we don't gain the weight overnight? But it's in the back of our mind all the time. Like we're aware that we're gaining, but like we don't even really recognize it until we do because we're just so busy, right? Like you're building a business, you're going to college, you're raising children, you're doing whatever you're doing that is like a higher priority at the time. And so like you're aware and you're like, oh, things are getting a little snug, but your mind is so occupied on other things that like you're thinking about your weight, but you're also thinking about all these other things. But then something triggers you. It is a glance in the mirror, or it is somebody posts a Facebook picture of you and you're like, what a bitch. She looks amazing. I look like trash. I can't believe she posted that, but also I can't believe I look like that. Or it's a clothing thing. You go to zip up your favorite jeans that used to fit the last time you wore them, but you don't get in them very often anymore. And now you go to put them on and they don't even go up over your hips. And you're like, good God, how did I get here? There is some sort of a trigger and you're operating out of pain. And that's fine to get you started, but then we got to pull the logic into the scene real freaking quick, or this is going to backfire big time because you're going to try to rush the process. We want to alleviate the pain as much as we can. Okay, what's the problem with doing that? Guess what? The faster you lose weight, the more your body's defenses get triggered. And so we always hear all these cliches like, the slower you lose it, the easier it is to maintain. That's true, but why? What does that mean? If we just keep this like generic cliche in our brain, it is not going to make you slow your roll because it just sounds sort of vanilla. Like it doesn't have any substance to it. So here's literally what happens. The faster you take weight off of your body, the faster your metabolic rate slows down, the more your energy expenditure slows down, the worse the cravings get, the higher the food noise goes. And if you keep pushing the envelope, multiple things can happen. You might experience all of them. You might experience one. Either your food obsession gets so loud, you can no longer stick to it. And then you blame your willpower. You say, I just like food too much. You say, I'm just a glutton. What's wrong with me? How come I can have so much self control in all these other areas, but when it comes to food, I'm just a pig? I can't even help myself. Girl, that is not you. That is biology. And biology always beats behavior. So, anywho, that happens and you quit. Or you don't quit. Maybe your food cravings don't get really loud. Or you just have like hella willpower and you're like, I'm gonna override this. You're gonna keep going and then you're gonna hit a plateau even though you kept going. And then when you get to that plateau, it is because your metabolic rate slowed down. And now, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to take away more food? Because you do have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. And so you have to take more food away or you have to move more. This is where eat less, move more comes into play, right? Except for what happens if you are only eating like 12 or 1300 calories and you still have another like 20 pounds to lose. So you're going to eat 1,000 calories to lose five more. And then you're going to eat 800 calories to lose five more. And then you're going to be like eating 800 calories and you're still not going to be at your goal. And then what are you going to do? If you don't understand how to handle this metabolic adaptation and try to mitigate it to the best of your abilities all along the way, this is the end game. And it's not because the set point isn't fixable. It's because the way that we're losing weight is what is creating this set point in the first place. Now, will your body try to defend that number and get you back to it? Yeah, it does. But we're misconstruing why. And I hate this whole conversation where we're making people feel powerless. Like, yep, your body has a set point. Nothing you can do about it. Well, if that's the case, why are any of us even trying? And I guarantee you it's not true because our clients don't just lose weight in the Keep It Off Academy. That's why it's called the Keep It Off Academy. Duh. They keep it off. I've had this program going now for, let's see, 5 years now in an official capacity. And the women who started in it, I'm not going to say every single one. Obviously, that's not the case. But a huge percentage of the women who started with us 5 freaking years ago have actually kept the weight off. And I was like on the side before Keep It Off was even a thing, coaching women for like 12 freaking years. That's how I developed these methods. I nerded out about the science and okay, so what do we do about this? And I took every single scientifically known thing that you can possibly do to mitigate this. And then I took, okay, well, what is largely practiced anecdotally by people who actually stay lean? Okay, now let's do that too. And like give your body every possible way to break this freaking set point. And guess what? It works. I have women in their 60s and 70s who are lower than they've been in decades while eating more food than they normally do to lose weight. Do you eventually need to be in a calorie deficit? Yes, 100%. You're not going to lose weight without a calorie deficit, but you have to use that calorie deficit wisely. And this is why I hate apps like MyFitnessPal and Noom and all of these things. Like they're cool if you're like tracking your food for accountability and to see what it is that you're eating, but oftentimes they give you these numbers to follow that are entirely too low. You're gonna lose weight really, really fast until you crash and burn. And so this is why, like, if you want to just lose weight really fast because you have a vacation coming up, girl, I'm not judging that. I've done that so many times. Go for it. Go do your rapid weight loss thing because you're getting in a bathing suit in 4 weeks with cameras around and you're freaking out about it. Okay, no judgment. Do that. But understand that when you regain it, it's not anything bad about you. That's like it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And so that's why I don't take on clients who want rapid weight loss. That's not what I teach. That's not my approach. We're going slow and steady, and it can sometimes be like a lot faster than you think it's going to be, but ultimately your body has to dictate what your process looks like. So some people have a very fussy, very adaptive metabolism. Some people don't. Genetics matter. I'm so sick of people telling women that like your genetics don't matter. You're just lazy. You need to work harder. And I'm like, hi, I've coached thousands of women, and I can tell you right now that some of the women who struggle with their weight the most eat the cleanest and have the most discipline, but they have a fussy metabolism. But here's the thing about that, you're not stuck. If you have a fussy metabolism, okay, that sucks. I am sorry. I wish that you could just eat all of the food in the world and this would be as easy for you as it is for everybody else. But we all have to play the hand that's dealt to us, right? So we have to know what's really going on with your metabolism. Is this really that like you just freak out when you see that you're getting really close to a specific number on the scale and we've got some mindset work we need to do around that? Or is your body legitimately freaking out? And even if your body doesn't tend to freak out and you don't have a set point, right? You can get all the way to your goal, but you never keep it. This still applies. You don't have a quote set point struggle, but you have a regain struggle, and it's the same exact mechanisms that are causing the set point, that are causing the plateaus, that are causing the rebound weight gain. And the number one mistake is being impatient. You want to rush it. You were told that 2 pounds a week is sustainable weight loss. And so in your mind, you think, well, as long as I'm losing 2 pounds a week, it's safe. That is true for some women. And for some women, they can go faster than that if they have a lot of weight that they need to lose. For some women, 2 pounds a week is too fast. You're going to trigger these defenses and you're going to get stuck. So the question is, are you getting to your goal faster by losing more every week, but then you get stuck, or you get to your goal, but then you can't possibly maintain it because your biology is fighting you? Or is it faster to lose 1 pound a week? I'm not even saying you can lose that. Okay, these are made up numbers. But would it be faster to lose 1 pound a week to get to your goal and you stay there forever versus losing 2 pounds a week and you only get halfway to your goal and then your body says, no, we're done. Ain't playing this game with you anymore? Which one's faster? Losing 2 pounds a week is faster to start. It ain't faster because you never get there. It ain't faster because you don't keep it. Who wants to keep repeating this over and over and over? It's freaking exhausting to always be in your head about your body and about your weight and what should I eat? And if I eat this piece of bread, am I going to gain weight? And blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. It's maddening. I've been there. I get it. I want you to all break free from that. But the reality is that if you're not letting your body lead this process, if you're following generic diets, it's not going to happen. And here's the other thing. If you believe, like truly identify with this belief that your body has a set point, I can't help you. I can't help you. The client that I told you about, who is now 8 pounds lower than her set point, she got stuck for 6 months, not because of her metabolism, because here's what happened. She went from like 170, I think it was, down to about 156. And then she just vanished. I was like, where'd she go? And this happens, and this is no judgment. I do the same thing with my coaches sometimes, actually. We could have a whole podcast episode about how to appropriately utilize coaching services. But anyways, she just sort of like vanished, and I'm like, well, what is going on? And then she finally comes back, and she had regained a little bit of it, not all of it, surprisingly. She had regained maybe like, I think 5 of it. And I was like, girl, where'd you go? Because this is how I talk to my clients. Like, where you been? Why you ghost me? Why'd you go in the witness protection program? I miss you. What is happening? And she's like, well, my body just won't go below 155. So it doesn't matter what we do. So like she had this story in her head that her body would not go below 155. But I didn't know about that story. She had not shared that with me. She was losing just fine, like very easy, actually, up until that point, especially for a woman who is 65 years old and is 20 years post-menopause. And so, I mean, I was actually like really surprised to hear her say this. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's very interesting. So we got to figure out why that's happening. Are we plateauing? Is this mindset? Blah, blah, blah. What was happening is her body does throw up defenses around that number. It's not all mental. Her body throws up defenses. But then because she never knows how to push past it, she just truly believed that she was stuck. And instead of like asking me about it, she assumed there is nothing that can be done. And I don't want to bother Nikki with this. And so I'm just going to I'm going to live here. And I was like, okay, this is literally what we need to change. I just need to change your calories by like 200, and I need to change your workouts a little bit to this. Like, do you have time to do this? Would you enjoy this? And she's like, oh yeah, that's easy. And I'm like, okay. So she goes and she does it. She's like, I don't know about this, Nikki. Like, how this is like not even much change. How is this? I was like, just humor me, okay? And so she did it, and she started losing weight again in the first week. Now, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we need like a bigger repair phase. She didn't need a big repair phase. She needed a small change to her plan and then blew past the 155, down 8 more pounds. There's like no end in sight. It looks like she's just going to keep losing. She's burning fat. She's building muscle in her 60s, well past where she thought she was stuck. But she was open to getting help with it. It took her a minute to be open to it, and that's okay. You don't always have to be gung ho ready right this second to handle whatever the limiting beliefs are that you hold. But I promise you, you do have to eventually handle them, because if you believe your body cannot move past a certain weight, it can't. It can't, because you won't do the right things to move it past. You will self sabotage. You will quit because it feels impossible. If you think something is impossible, how hard are you actually going to try? It would be dumb to try to do it. Like, we all say things like, oh, I want to retire early, or I want to win the lottery, or I want to, like, what, I don't know. Like, we make up things that we would be fun, right? But like, how hard are you going to go after it if you think it's impossible for you? You're not going to go after things that you think are impossible for you. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of hope. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up if it can't really happen, because I'll be more disappointed then, right? Like, right now, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But if I get really excited about it and I really believe it and I really buy into this idea that I could make this change in my life, I could make this change in my body, whatever it is, and then I try my hardest and it doesn't work, then what? Then I feel even worse than I did. Then I feel even more stuck. So I understand not wanting to give it a go, but if you believe that your body's not going to move past a certain point, it's literally not. It's literally not. But here's what else I do know definitively 100%. If you want to get past your set point, it is 100% possible, but you're not going to do it following basically anything else that you've already done. If what you were currently doing on and off for years could get you past your set point, you'd be there by now. Or if it could get you to your goal and you could maintain it, you'd be there by now. Sure, maybe you have a consistency issue. Maybe you get to your goal and then you just go, "Yay, I made it. Let's celebrate with pizza." That could be the case. And then there's mindset work that we need to do around that too, right? But 9 times out of 10, it's not that. You think that you backslid when you got to your goal. But what happened was your biology threw up its defenses. You didn't even recognize that because you think the thoughts are yours. Because you are having the thoughts about the food, about the I don't want to do this anymore, about all the things that you're having. But what you don't understand is there's a hormonal process driving those thoughts that you're having. And you just haven't been given the tools how to handle that biology. And so how you lose weight matters. I'm over this hippy dippy notion that like, oh, whatever works for you. No, it ain't whatever works for you. Because what's been, quote, working for Americans to lose weight for the past 50 years has not led to any sustained weight loss. It's led to losing and then regaining. Now, there are other ways to do it. We do it every freaking day inside of our Keep It Off Academy. But here's the deal. It's a process. If you believe that your body's stuck, I can't help you. If you will not be patient with your body and you want to lose weight as fast as your husband is losing weight, I can't help you, because you can do that, but then you're just going to put it all back on. I am not all about wrecking your body to get you fast results. I want to see you get past your set point and create a new one for you. So is set point real? Yeah, sort of. The concepts behind a set point are definitely valid. This is undeniable. We have the research that shows that metabolic rate lowers more than what it should just for the body size. We have proof that like your energy expenditure goes down. Like this is all well documented and studied. But the error people make is in thinking that that means that you can't do anything about it. You absolutely can. And every person is different. Some of your bodies are going to fight back more than other people's bodies. That doesn't mean that you're stuck. But this is why I always say, like, if you guys have done any of my like free events or 5 day challenges or whatever, you hear me talk a lot about how maintenance starts on day one. And it's not because you're not going to lose weight. That's not what I mean by it. I mean, we have to be thinking about our maintenance plan from day one, because if we're losing weight in a way that makes maintenance impossible, it's just a giant freaking waste of time. And so if you want support with this, send me a message on Facebook, shoot me an email, go to keepitoffcoaching.com/keepitoff, fill out an application for the academy and see how it all works. But like, listen, there's multiple ways to lose weight. Most of them actually do work. They do work. They will help you lose weight. You can go low carb, you can go low calorie, you can go keto, you can go paleo, you can go to Fit Body Boot Camp and sweat your ass off 7 days a week. There's multiple things that you can do to lose weight. But if you want to break past a set point, or you want to get to a goal weight and then you want to maintain it without driving back up to the set point, it's a completely different process. Like some of the pieces are going to look the same. We're going to look at your food. We're going to look at movement. Like it's going to look sort of similar, but with way more strategy and intention behind it. And it's honestly like, it's almost like a completely different process, but you ain't stuck, girl. Set point ain't a thing that you can't move past.